About the Kepler 90 system. The reason I wanted to talk about it was because I always look at the solar system all the time, and I always was wondering, like, is there another solar system that has 8 planets like ours? And this system does. And I was very surprised at first to find that. But now, let's get in now. Let's talk about our vocabulary. Tightly locked. Tightly locked means that a planet or exoplanet has a permanent day and night side. So, like, like Earth, like it rotates around its axis every 23 hours, 56 minutes, every 23 hours and 56 minutes. And it moves around. Some planets can't move around because they're so close to their star that the star's gravitational pull doesn't let them rotate that well, which causes them to be tightly locked. Astronomical units means that how far away that is measured from Earth to the Moon. Like that is one whole entire astronomical unit, or you could say Earth to the Sun. Puffball planet. A puffball planet means that it has a very low density, only a few times of that of Earth, but a radius is larger than Neptune. So it's like between Earth and Neptune with radius and density. Density is a physical property that is measured on how tightly packed it is, and the matter that is in the object. Now let's talk about the sweet spot. The sweet spot means that if a planet is in the right place from its star, it could have possibilities for life to exist, like our home Earth. But it would need a lot of capabilities. It would need a strong atmosphere, magnetic field, and all other stuff, which will go on later soon. So I already talked about the intro. Let's go on to Kepler 90b. Kepler 90b is the closest planet to Kepler 90 and only takes 7 days to orbit around its star. It is about 30% wider than Earth. Also, because the star is the F-type star, meaning that it is bigger and hotter, Kepler 90b could have temperatures really hot, maybe hotter than Venus, but we do not know yet if that is true. Also, the exoplanet could be tightly locked because of how close it is to its star. Don't worry about these pictures are not real. I made them myself, but they're not real. Kepler 90c. Currently, the smallest known exoplanet in the Kepler 90c is about 18% wider than Earth. Due to it being 18% wider than Earth, it could be a rocky exoplanet. It also takes a bit over 8 and 7/10 days to orbit Kepler 90. This exoplanet could also be tightly locked because of how close it is to Kepler 90. Kepler 90I. This is the last one that could be a rocky exoplanet in the Kepler 90 system. Kepler 90I is about 32% wider than Earth. It is also similar in size to Kepler 90b. It could be the biggest rocky exoplanet in the system. It also takes 14 days to orbit Kepler 90. It's colder than Kepler 90b and Kepler 90c, but still very hot. The reason it was called Kepler 90I is because they thought it would be the last exoplanet in that system. That is why they called it Kepler 90I. Kepler 90d. Kepler 90d is 3 times further away from Kepler 90 than Kepler 90I at about 0 and 32 hundredths astronomical units. It is also about 2 and 9/10 times wider than Earth. Due to that, it could be a gas exoplanet because of its size. It is big enough that it could also be a mini Neptune. Finally, it takes 59 days to orbit Kepler 90. Kepler 90e. Kepler 90e takes 91 days to orbit Kepler 90. It also has a distance of 0 and 42 hundredths astronomical units. It also is the first exoplanet in that system to be outside the orbit of Mercury. The size of it is about 2 and 67 hundredths times wider than Earth. This exoplanet could also be a mini Neptune. Because it is that far away, it may not be tightly locked because it is further and out of Mercury's orbit. The reason it is out of Mercury's orbit is because it doesn't orbit in circles. It can orbit in different types of ways, which makes it hard for it, and it's wider than Mercury's orbit when it orbits like that. Kepler 90f. Kepler 90f is about 0 and 48 hundredths astronomical units away from Kepler 90. It takes Kepler 90f 124 days to complete one orbit around Kepler 90. Kepler 90f was the first exoplanet in the Kepler 90 system to have an orbit around Kepler 90 to take more than 100 days in that system. Kepler 90g and Kepler 98. They were both found using radiations and their transits because they were a bit far away. Due to the scientists using radiations, they figured out that Kepler 98 was a puffball planet. Kepler 90g is about 15 Earth masses. Kepler 98 is about 2/3 the mass of Jupiter. Kepler 90g is about 0 and 71 astronomical units away from the Kepler 90 star. Kepler 90g is identical to Jupiter in radius. Kepler 90g takes 331 days to orbit Kepler 90 and could possibly be in the sweet spot. We do not need to go through that. And thank you everyone so much. Now, let me head back. So that is why I did this, and I hope you all understood why I made this. And also, I want to say thank you to everyone. You guys really inspire me all the time to do this type of stuff with you guys, and I really appreciate it. And I really thank you for the subscribers and the likes that you guys give to my channel. So I really appreciate that so much, and I can't say enough to you guys for more, but thank you so much for that, and I really appreciate it. I'll try to do something else funner if you don't think that this is fun, but I'll try to make up something more funner, but this is the best that I got so far. But yeah, with that being said, so see you later, and I hope you all have a very good day.